Hello, everyone. We're back after a long break, I guess
It's been a month,
you would
hasn't it?
call it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a long time. I know you guys have probably missed all of us, well, except for Will, but we got interrupted by Free Comic Book Day, and basically us just being silly and forgetting.
We got lazy last week.
That's right. As always, we'll introduce ourselves. As you can see by my tagline, it's Biggie Halls. I'm like Muhammad Ali, the chaos in Canada.
I am Trevor, and this is.
And well,
And I don't have a name today.
But you have a name, yes?
No,
Okay.
His mother didn't love him enough.
no, she didn't.
So it's been so long. I think we should start with perhaps what we've been reading in terms of comics, or I don't know. Maybe you just read Chinese takeout menus. How about you start, Trevor?
Well, okay then. A couple weeks ago, I read a couple of Willow's comics, Alison Bechdel's autobiographies. I'm a big fan of those.
So you didn't light them on fire.
Uh, Not yet, no. But yeah, those books, they changed me a little.
For the better?
I hope so. I've also been reading The Invisibles by Grant Morrison, a Vertigo
Oh,
comic he did in the 90s. And
I was gonna say really nice, and then I realized I didn't know what that was because I was thinking of the Invincibles.
no, The Invisibles is it's kind of like a superhero team that Grant Morrison just invented, all new characters of his own. It's mind melting though.
Okay. Well, Dan Morrison, of course it is.
And a couple of days ago, I finished Kingdom Come. Which
Uh, uh,
is an amazing
uh.
comic by Wade and Alex Ross.
I own two or three copies of issue number one, I think.
Have you read the whole thing?
I have read the whole thing. First
Yeah.
appearance of Magog, man.
It's such an excellent book.
Anything Alex Ross artwork is I'm sucker for.
It's beautiful. And just 30 minutes ago, I finished reading Gem and the Holograms, issue 1 and issue 2.
Oh, what? Let me see your cover there.
Oh, this is
Oh.
the issue 2 I picked up. I'm not getting the
This is
box.
this is the issue two I picked up. Is that the same one?
No, it's a different one.
No. Yeah, I only did the box set for number one. We haven't read it. Neither me nor the wife have read it yet, though.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I think I'm in love with it.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. We're both excited to read it. Have you? Is that all you've read, or?
That basically sums it up. Yesterday, I
Yeah.
picked up all my new issues of the last 2 weeks, but I haven't looked into those much yet. I posted the
Yeah,
photos of them on the Facebook page.
it was quite a haul.
Yes.
How about yourself, Willow?
I read Jim and the Holograms, and nothing else matters.
I like this to the point. We should just have a whole episode where we sing songs like Gem and the Holograms.
So should we express disappointment about the movie that's coming out now? Now that we
I
know
think
what it looks like?
I think we should briefly talk about how crappy that trailer looks. And how I still don't really understand how you can do a Gem and the Hologram movie and not have the Misfits. I'm just kind of confused.
They're doing a Jim and the Holograms movie without even it being about holograms.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of
it's
just
based
odd.
in reality. The Holograms is just the name of the band. I mean, it looks like a CD.
I lost all faith. I lost all faith when it said that like who is it, like the producer, like I don't think he directed, but the producer was like the guy, and all he's done is the Justin Bieber documentary.
That's hurting.
Yeah, I feel like you're not very credited if all you've done is Never Say Never by Justin Bieber.
I think what we need is a Gem movie in the style of the Scott Pilgrim movie.
Oh, that to me that would be amazing.
Friggin' Scott Pilgrim.
They should get on that. What about you, Will? Have you read anything?
Oh man, playoffs, hockey playoffs. I've been so swept up. I've browsed my free comic book day books and the collector's court book. I did browse through them.
What team do you want to win the big hockey games?
Chicago or nobody, man.
Chicago.
They're the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Oh, Blackhawks.
I know. That's about as far as my knowledge of hockey goes.
Well, what about you, Rowan?
Right on.
What have you been reading?
I've read. I'm 2 weeks behind on my comics, so I've caught up on almost everything except I've got this stack still from 2 weeks ago, and that's like half of the stack, so I have gotten through quite a bit of it. I've kind of been trying to think what I've read that would be interesting to talk. Oh, I read Puppet Master #1, which I thoroughly enjoyed. If you're a fan of the 80s horror movie, I also read the Reanimator #1, which was also equally as good. I'm really on like a horror comic kick right now. And then some conversion stuff. And then Trevor will be glad to know I'm almost done Volume 2 of Daredevil. And I'm sold on Daredevil. I'm sold.
Well, I think Bendis is probably the best jumping on point that you can get with him.
It's incredibly good. I would agree. As much as, people always are like, oh, I mean, I think when you think Daredevil, you automatically think Frank Miller. And I haven't read Frank Miller's run. I love the covers on Frank Miller's run, but I think this is definitely someone that has never read Daredevil. I would suggest Bendis' run. It's as intriguing as it gets, in my opinion.
And it's only the beginning of Pacific, too, because when Bendis finishes, you immediately have to go into Brubaker.
Exactly. And, I'm excited to get to Volume 3, and that's pretty much all I've really read. Like I said, I'm about 2 weeks behind still. I've read all my free comic book day stuff, so I'm sure we will discuss that more, which we can discuss now, I guess. So, let's start with you, Will. You browsed. How did you enjoy the free comic book day comics?
I mean, it was a nightmare in the store when I was in, but other than that, I mean, I picked up All New, All Different Avengers, and that one came with my collector's court box. Like I said, came with another issue of a different one. It seems
was it just the same comic, like different colors?
The other one's a team up. It's the All New, All Different Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So it's pretty cool. It's silver in the box, so I can't really. I could, but I don't want to. But it seems like it's a really good book so far. The art's kind of minimalistic, but I feel like I could grow to love Lady Thor with this book. Then I also picked up Secret Wars, the free comic book day one.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't really looked at it yet, but I'll get around to it. Nice cover on it. And then they didn't have any Captain Canuck.
No, they're out.
I've been freaking out about it for 2 weeks, so I got the girlfriend. She's a big Avatar fan, so she got that.
Oh, okay.
On the back, Plants vs. Zombies crosswords, or maze. That's
Sorry,
me.
I just hit my camera. What about you, Trevor?
Willow and I got a little bit of a stack. My favorite book on Free Comic Book Day is by Avatar Press. It's advertising a new monthly comic that's coming out in a few months called Mercury Heat by Kieran Gillen, who is the creator of, I believe, Wicked Divine. And it's science fiction action book, kind of like in the style of Judge Dredd. And
Oh, okay, nice.
I think I'll be adding this one to my pull list. Actually, I enjoyed this one a whole lot.
That's what they always want, isn't it? With Free Comic Book Day, is you to add stuff to your pull list.
The day is basically an advertisement of new comics coming out. But yeah, all new, all different Avengers. We'll see how it is. I like a lot of the people on this team. I am familiar with all these people a whole bunch, so I hope I like it. Secret Wars.
You haven't read it yet, or?
Oh no, I have read it. I don't know what I'm gonna think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a little undecided.
Yeah.
Secret Wars issue 0. Now since then I've actually also read issues 1 and issues 2. And I still continue to hate events. The big two event comics just don't do it for me at all. I just hated all of it. Captain Canuck, issue 0. I haven't read this one yet. Fight Club 2. I'm a fan of Chuck Palahniuk's stuff. I'll take a look at that soon. This is a manga, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This was a manga that began in the 80s. I read it not all of it, but a lot of it a long time ago. I was a fan of it. Hip Hop Family Tree by Fantagraphics. I've been meaning to buy the actual Hip Hop Family Tree books, but I haven't bought them yet. Because the last Free Comic Book Day issue, they put out one of these as well, and I was a huge fan of it. I need to finally actually buy the main book. I keep putting it off. A compilation of Boom and Kaboom titles, all ages kids comics. Some Doctor Who mini comics. And then Emily Was Gone, advertising a new comic coming out. Has a pretty interesting aesthetic.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Got some Bob Spookers, pretty funny. If you like the show, you'd like it. And I haven't looked at this one yet, but 2000 AD from the old British comic compilation.
And it looks like it's in magazine style?
It is in magazine style, yes.
Nice.
Yeah. I've read most of these. It was a decent day. I enjoyed it. It's always fun going out to the shops and seeing them packed with kids. That's what I think this day is mainly about. It's trying to get a new generation into comics, and I always just see the place always packed with children. So enthusiastic. Makes me happy.
I'm envious. My comic book store was full of crackheads.
That could be equally as fun. No, I've got my stack here. I don't know. I think I'm missing like 1 or 2 of them. But this is 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, I think I'm missing like 2 of them. And one of them is... One of the ones that's sitting over there is yours, Trevor.
My Valiant book.
Your Valiant book. But I picked up... well, I'll start with... Secret Wars #0. I actually didn't read it. I just bagged and boarded it. Because I've fully decided I'm not doing Secret Wars. I'm gonna do the Hulk, the Planet Hulk event, and I think that's it.
Usually with events, I find that the tie-ins sometimes can be really cool, but the actual main event comics usually suck most of the time.
Yeah, I honestly, it's one of those things where if I have an interest later, I'll probably just pick up a trade or something, or if I need to know what happened, I'll Wikipedia it so I'm not lost. But I have no interest in it, especially where Convergence ended up being bigger for me than I expected, where I've actually really enjoyed the tie-ins, so I've got quite a bit of the tie-ins. And I've been enjoying the main title. I can't do 2 events at once. It's just unrealistic. Let's go to Bob's Burger. I agree with Trevor. If you really like the show, you'll really like that. I've never read any of the Bob's Burger comics, and I'm probably not going to add it to my poll just because it's not necessarily a poll book, but I probably will pick up the trades. I laughed pretty hard at the book, so I thought it was pretty funny. I picked up Hip Hop Family Tree 3-in-1. These are always cool. Same as Trevor, I got the one last year. Actually, I have 3 copies of the one from last year because 2 of them are for people I haven't seen yet back home. I picked up the all-new, all-different Avengers. Yeah, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm not gonna pull it. I like the team. It's one of my favorite team of Avengers, but I was not a fan of the art at all.
I'm not
And
sold on the comic yet. I like the
Yeah.
team individually a lot, but it's almost like 2 teams trying to find some piece as one, and I don't know if that's going to click yet.
Yeah, I mean, I might give it a couple issues a try. I think my real big concern is individually almost all the characters I really like, and I think I'm just really scared they'll screw it up and then make me not like them again or something. And then also, we didn't mention the fact that I think it's funny that this is still selling for like $15 or $20 on eBay. Will's now doing math in his head on what Funkos he needs to pick up.
Well, how I can trade that for Funko figure. Exactly.
And then I picked up Captain
I
Canuck.
hate you guys.
Obviously, it was the first book I read the minute I got home. It was amazing. I really like the update. I understand the update. Like, the average comic book reader, especially new comics, is gonna like it because it's like a more Iron Man-y, like, tech suit. I'm a big fan of just the old school, like, spandex Captain Canuck costume. But if you're from Canada, it's one of those things where I saw a lot of Americans got it for Free Comic Book Day, and I don't really think they'd understand the humor in it. You know, like, one of the secret agents' name is, like, Quebec, but it's, like, spelled funny. But, like, if you're Canadian, you know it's Quebec. And she's, like, really French. And it's just, like, they have, like, jokes about geography and just, like, all that kind of thing. And then, you guys didn't get this, but I got Steampunk Goldilocks. And I read it, and it was amazing. Antarctic Press usually only puts out black and white comics, so this is only, like, I think they're, like, 3rd or 4th colored comic, which is awesome. And then I picked up Divergence, #1, which is another book that's selling, I think this is up to, like, $30 now on eBay. It's like $30 or $40. As long as you don't have a stamp in it. It still sells for a bunch of money with a stamp, but it's worth more if it's fresh and unstamped. But obviously it's expensive because it's the first appearance of new Batman and the first appearance of new Superman. Which I guess he's not really new, it's just a new costume. And I thought both were pretty shitty, in my opinion. Batman has been. I dropped Batman before I read this, and I will. Ooh, loud motorcycle. I dropped Batman before this, and this has confirmed that I probably am not going to be interested in Batman for the next little bit. Superman, I still pull. I mean, the only real thing they did was basically, it's not a spoiler, I guess, now, because it's been like a month, but basically Lois Lane out Superman to the world, so everyone knows that he's Clark Kent now, and he looks like Superboy now. He just wears a t-shirt and jeans, and he has hipster scruff now.
So he's not trying to hide it out now, basically.
No, basically, I feel like it's going to be a worldly book now. He's not in this. He's on the run. Because he doesn't know how to deal with everyone knowing who he is, and he's always wearing like hoodies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's going to be more about him exploring the world now that everyone knows who he is, and just kind of rediscovering himself.
Has this been done yet in main continuity at all in his history?
No, this is the first time that I believe this is the first time that everyone has known who he is. Oh, and I forgot the most important thing, because there's been the huge uproar and petitions, is they also took away his flying power.
Did they?
He can only leap over tall buildings like when he was originally created. He can no longer fly anymore. And, of course, that's caused a huge uproar. I don't know. The only explanations I've really seen is them saying that they feel it will ground him more. People will be able to relate to him more. That, I guess, if he doesn't fly, he's not as intimidating. Which out of all powers you could take away, that's probably the least intimidating power.
Hopefully it's heat vision or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with it. I mean, essentially, that's what the creators wanted for him. I mean, he never could fly until, like, 150 issues into his comic. So, do we want to talk about Secret Wars Convergence?
So, actually, like, I caught up a little bit on, like, the main event books today.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with these event books is that they try and fit, 50-odd characters into 25 pages of comic. It's convoluted 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I also read Convergence issues 1 and 2 today, and I'm not a fan of that at all.
No.
The whole Battlefield Planet stuff, made up of a team of people that no one gives a damn about, I just hate every page of it.
Yeah. Did you read any of it, Willow, or?
I don't do events.
Good girl, good girl.
All events do is frighten a lot of people away from comics.
Yeah, well, and that's why I kind of hate them. But unfortunately, Trevor, we're suckers.
I'm still going to finish off the Batman tie-ins, though. The Convergence tie-ins. Now that I've actually read, I think, 8 of these tie-ins, I enjoy them, but reading them all in, like, one sitting is a stupid thing to do, because every single one of these tie-ins follows the exact same template, and it gets repetitious, like, 2 books in.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're not... did you read Secret War Zero, Will?
I just, while you guys were talking, I skimmed through it. The only thing I'm interested in is the Avengers versus the Titans in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like that would be a better read than Secret Wars.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of the tie-ins will be pretty awesome and cool, but, like, the main book it has to do way too much stuff to actually make sense on its own.
Yeah.
I'm definitely from the tie-in books.
Yeah. I'm not, like I said, I'm not reading any of the Secret Wars, so I guess I can only comment on the Convergence stuff. I don't mind the event. The Convergence tie-in books has been way better than the main Convergence title. And I fully agree with you, Trevor, that it's the main Convergence title is made up of a team of people I don't care about. But the tie-ins have been spectacular, I thought. I agree, repetitious. They all follow the same format.
I'm hoping.
Unlike you.
I'm actually hoping. I hope the issue 2 is actually stray from this. Like, all of the issue 1s have the same setup, but I'm hoping with the issue 2s they all do something different.
Yeah.
I haven't read any yet.
I think unlike you, I'm not reading any of the Batman ones. Although I think when I go pick up my comics, I may pick up the Batman and the Outsiders one, because I thought I pulled it, but I didn't.
Okay.
But the standouts for me have been that I've read is I really enjoyed the Swamp Thing one.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the Green Lantern Parallax one. And I really enjoyed the Superman one. I haven't read the Action Comics one, but I really like the Superman one.
I've been planning on checking a bunch of those out online, and just so I could write about something about it on my blog. But with the Batman ones, I think I most like the Question and the Nightwing one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty good. I think it'll be easier maybe in the next couple shows, like once we're pretty much wrapping up the events, to kind of comment more on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once we finish the events and we're like, oh my god, these guys have stolen our money and duped us again. We hate everybody.
It's funny. By the end of this month, I won't be buying any DC Comics. Because up to now, I've basically been buying my brother's pull list. He collects Batman family comics because he doesn't live in the same city I'm in. He doesn't have a comic book shop back home. So I've been buying like his Batman stuff. But he hates the state of what's going on with all the Bat titles, that he's just dropping his pull list. And I can't blame him.
No, I can't either. I kind of see that. Especially where I always started off as a heavy Marvel guy, and DC's kind of brought me over to them, but I'm at the point now where I'm just, I don't know, I'm just not getting the same enjoyment, I guess, out of DC as I was.
Some of the new DC books coming out in June look like they could be good. I'm not pull buying any of them, but I might pick up some in trade if they get good reviews.
Yeah. Yeah. I concur with that decision. So did we want to get off of this topic? Was there anything else anyone wanted to add, or?
I think we can move on.
We can move on. So we said we were going to briefly touch on the Archie debacle.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's such an interesting situation. Although I totally understand the outcry. I feel like sometimes people do abuse Kickstarter, so maybe dropping it was a good idea.
Yeah, well, and yeah, a lot of people try to get money from Kickstarter, I find, that probably aren't people that really need it or causes that really need it. Like, I feel like not enough people would donate if I had, like, a Give Rowan a Free Vacation Kickstarter.
I'd donate to that.
I mostly feel bad about the Archie fans who did actually put money into this and who want to see these new comics, but now they have to wait a long time.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing, is it's not like they didn't make any money. I mean, they made, was it like, I think $30,000 they made?
No, legally though, don't they have to give that back? I don't think they can get money though, because it was canceled.
Yeah, I think I do think they have to give it back. I was almost curious if they try to open it up so that if you did want to donate the money, you could still do it somehow.
Maybe outside of Kickstarter, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess, but like you said, I understand the outcry. It does seem odd to me that a company that as big as that would be asking for its customers to pay to make their product. But then again, I guess I don't really know how Archie sells, so I don't know what kind of money they're making.
The thing that was about it that like confused me is like they don't need Kickstarter to actually put out the comics. In the interview, like the CEO of the company said like the comics are gonna come out regardless whether or not they get the money or not. Just they would come out faster if they got more money because they just struck a deal with Walmart. Like they're okay financially. They really didn't need Kickstarter.
Walmart.
Archie has like these 3 new books that they want to put out, and basically they want to put them out at like the same time. But now they have to like do them one at a time. And honestly, you should be putting them out one at a time. Like you should space them out.
Yeah, well, I think it would make sense because then I think you can give the proper promotion to the comics that the creators intended and deserve. Like
Archie isn't a big enough comics company to debut like 3 number 1s in the same month. It can't do its own New 52 because then it's cutting into its sales.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, was there anything else we wanted to touch on that, or are we good? Are we done talking about Archie and old Jughead?
Boy, this is the first and the last I think I'll be hearing of this debacle.
So, are we gonna get right into television?
We might as well. There's a lot to talk about, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, is there a lot to talk about? This is like the chunk of it. So, Trevor, why don't you start off with Supergirl?
Okay, I watched it and I just kind of sat in silence for 6.5 minutes, questioning my life decisions up to this point. What am I doing with myself?
You're not stopping giant trucks with your hands?
I don't think this show is what I wanted it to be, but knew deep down it wasn't going to be anyway. But
what about you, Willow?
I'm conflicted on Supergirl because I'm not against what they're doing in a narrative sense, but and I would totally watch Supergirl, and I'm still gonna give it a shot because I want it to succeed. But it seems like they're trying really, really, really hard to emphasize that this is a show about a woman, and to me that rings hollow. Like it should just be a natural part of the show instead of them like making a point to talk about that it is a show about a woman. Like that big title card that said like it's not a man. I mean that really clanged hard. I mean,
I was glad they put that there because I was confused. I didn't know what was going on.
I mean, the Supergirl show kind of sells itself. They don't need for you to sit there and be like, hey, like, she works out a fashion magazine. She's also a superhero. It's just like, these things can easily work together, but, like, they're working so hard to, like, sell the point that, like, this is the TV show for women that they're missing the fact to actually, like, work on both of those things and just, like, sell it as a superhero show first. I mean, like, you don't have to, like, go for that audience to begin with first. I mean, it's gonna be a successful show regardless. They don't have to, like, emphasize this one specific point is what I'm thinking. And, like, it seems like they're trying really, really hard, and I'm worried about how that's going to come off in the show. It might be fun, but in the trailer, like, I don't like the marketing so far.
As questionable as the show might be, I would still rather watch that than DC shows.
Yeah, I would watch Supergirl way before Arrow or Flash or any of those. I mean, whatever.
So my question is, even though the CBS president saying so, how do you feel that everyone else at CW is saying, oh, no, no, it's going to tie into our universe?
I didn't know about this.
Yes. They, I can't think of the name, but the guys that make Arrow and Flash and whatever, and Jeff Johns has all said they're in the process right now of doing the paperwork because CW is owned by CBS.
Mhm.
And they have said that they fully expect at some point that these are going to be shows in the existing universe set up right now. Now, the president of CBS said, she didn't say no, but she said for the first couple seasons, we want this to ourselves and to see how it performs. So she said right now the answer's no, but everyone else, including DC and everyone at CW, is saying no, it's already in motion, that you will see the tie-ins.
Don't we just love it when TV executives and TV creators can't come to an agreement and fuck up their shows?
I was just waiting for you to hear that news, then you guys just like start crying or something.
I don't.
Show not on the CW. Oh wait, it's CW anyways.
I'm not against the idea that the show's crossing over. I just hate the idea that the people making the show can't come to an agreement about it.
Yeah. The sad realities of, like you said, television executives. Did you see the trailer, Will?
I didn't see the trailer as it was meant to be seen. I seen it as though it was the trailer for a romantic comedy. And it would probably work if it was just an hour and a half romantic comedy.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Me and Trevor talked about it more in depth with each other. I'm just not a Supergirl fan in general, nor like, and that's not against her being a girl. I don't like Superboy either, so
Nobody likes him.
What?
Nobody likes him.
No. Although I'm curious if they had a Superboy show, would they have like the same card that's like, it is not a woman. It is a boy. But yeah, I don't know. She's just not a character I'm really that interested in. I'll probably check it out because I'm a sucker like that, and I'll see it. But what I was really bugged me was I think about how long it's been since Smallville was on TV, and it doesn't look like we've made any progress in how making someone looking like they're flying is like it looked as horrible as it did on Smallville. Like I just figured we'd technologically be more advanced to make it look better.
But it's low budget TV.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my other issue too. I really have an issue with like them not willing to spend the money to make it look good, which I know they can. Because when I look at stuff like the Atom flying an Arrow, it looks good. Like it's movie quality good. So I know they can do it.
I think the cast looks okay though. I especially like Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, I thought the cast was good, and even the casting of Supergirl was like, I think she looks pretty spot on. Like, I can't see many complaints coming.
I think she'll be good, and I really like what I think that this new take on Jimmy Olsen will be well received.
Which is nice, because I hate Jimmy Olsen. I'm all for a new Jimmy Olsen. So do we want to talk about all the other TV stuff? You'll be depressed, Trevor, that I've only watched 2 episodes of iZombie. I totally forgot about it. I'm sorry.
I think I'm up to episode 8 now, but 9's also out as well, so I'm one behind.
How is it?
It's still pretty good. It might be stalling just a little bit. It's still stuck in that episode of the week mode, the Monster of the Week mode,
okay.
and I kind of wish it would just kind of push ahead a little bit, but I think it's going too soon.
Very nice. Will, any comments about anything?
Well, I seen one of their trailers. I think it was for episode 8 of iZombie, and I mean, I haven't really been following it too much, right?
Yeah.
And so I see this trailer where she's having this romantic encounter with a guy, and of course, I didn't realize he's a zombie at that point. Sure enough, but I'm still at the point where it's like, okay, zombie on zombie, how is that any different than, why are we okay with that, but we're not okay with, homosexuality on TV?
Zombies just, I don't know, man.
Hey, I mean, at first I thought it was necrophilia on TV, and I was like, why aren't people flipping out about this?
It's a good question. Does that line the realm, even if she's a zombie?
Exactly.
Food for thought.
I feel like they're touching on things they shouldn't be touching on. Having this zombie have a relationship, I get it, but I don't. And that's my thought on that. I'll read into it some more and have a better opinion next time.
And I'm not gonna ask Trevor any opinions about Gotham or Arrow or Flash or anything.
I know they exist.
Yeah, you know their television shows.
You ask him his opinion on Legend of Tomorrow.
Where are you at, Will? You're not anywhere, are you?
No. I got an app on my phone now that's got all the seasons, so I'm gonna get on it.
Okay. Well, then I guess I will comment on it. This week was the season finale of Arrow. It was good. I liked it. I wasn't disappointed with it. Basically, I have no idea where they're going to go for season 4. Emil has already said that this is the last time he's going to be wearing the Arrow costume, or is going to be called Arrow. They're being pretty cryptic about it, but I think everyone's assuming that means we're finally going to go to the title being Green Arrow, and that he's going to go full out comic book now. It was really just a setup for the new CW show and the characters that are going to be on it, and just some progressions in the characters. Diggle, who we still don't know who he really is in the DC universe. He was made up for the show. A lot of people assumed that he was actually Jon Stewart, because they keep mentioning that his middle name starts with a J, and everyone thinks it's Jon Stewart. But I did see an interesting theory, because I'm trying to think the best way to explain it. Basically, at the end of the season finale, Arrow had told him that he has to come up with a secret identity, and he can't fight as himself anymore. And so a lot of people are getting excited because they think Green Lantern is going to come into this TV universe. But I'm more with the opinion, and if you watch the cartoons, you're probably more familiar with it, but is the Guardian. He looks like the Guardian. His characteristics, like his personality, are very much like the Guardian. I'm not sure if are you, Trevor, Willow, familiar with the Guardian at all?
No.
You can tell.
He was very big on season 2 of Young Justice. He kind of looks like Nova. He wears like a gold helmet.
I've watched Young Justice, yeah.
I've watched it. Why am I not thinking? Why can't I think of what this guy looks like?
Yeah, he's just kind of like a big football player-looking guy, and he wears like a gold helmet and wears like a blue suit. He's kind of like, I don't know how, he's just a street-level hero.
Ah, that guy.
Yeah, and I think that's who he's going to be. That's really all I have to say about Arrow. Flash season finale is this week. Flash has been terrific. Flash is like one of my favorite TV shows. I'm interested to see where we're gonna go from this, because they've almost wrapped it all up with the second last episode. So I'm expecting some big twists in this new one. Did we want to talk about, since we're on the subject, have we all seen the trailer for the new show?
Looks good.
Looks good.
I mean, I'm sure Trevor and Willow don't think such things.
I
haven't seen it.
No. I don't want to. No.
Yeah, you don't care. Yeah, like Will said, I thought it looked pretty good. I'm interested in. I like the fact that it's like a weird time travel show. I thought that was pretty cool.
I feel like BBC is going to have a word with them about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's all I've seen online. I thought the same thing when I watched it. Is I was like, even the look of the episodes is very Doctor Who-ish. Like, very Doctor Who-ish. We've gone, especially, like, we've gone to, I found in the trailer there's a lot of, like, steampunk elements and, like, stuff like that, like gears and whatnot. The team looks okay, though. If you haven't figured out the full lineup, it's the Atom, because of the season finale of Arrow, can actually do all his powers now, so he can now shrink down, which you get a kick out of Trevor because their shot of him shrinking down is the exact same shot from Ant-Man where he shrinks down and runs at the camera. Like, it was shot for shot the exact same. White Canary, who is just Black Canary, but white, in a white costume now.
Back from the dead?
Back from the dead.
Damn, Lazarus Pit.
Thanks to, the Lazarus Pit. Rip Hunter, who is part of a C-list time travel team from DC Comics, like in the late 80s, early 90s. Hawk Girl. I think Hawk Girl looks very good. I like that they're going full out and like giving her the full costume, the wings, and everything. They're not doing the classic DC and making it more believable. And then, oddly, the team also has, villains on it. It's got Captain Cold and Heatwave, but they're going to be good, which I'm excited for. I think Captain Cold's my favorite character out of that whole universe. But yeah, no, I thought it looked pretty good. That's all I have to say about it. Did you have anything else, Will, or?
No, I'm thinking it's going to be pretty good. Will it compare to, say, Avengers movie level? Probably not, but it'll be something worth watching.
I agree with that. Was there anything else TV-wise we wanted to talk about, or?
I think we touched all of them.
Yeah, I think. Trevor's like, just please stop talking about CW, please. So do we want to get into the chunk of the discussion?
We might as well talk about the movie now, I suppose.
Yeah. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to generally talk about it, or do we want to just say now, if you haven't seen the movie, shut this off?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just full out talk about anything we want to.
Hey, it's been out for like a month now.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, if you haven't seen it by now.
If you haven't seen Avengers, stop watching. We'll forgive you because we're going to talk about it now.
I mean, if you haven't seen it, it's been a month. It's all over the internet anyways.
Exactly.
Just by being on the internet, you're spoiling it for yourself.
So, let's start. We never start with Will. Will, why don't we start with you? Avengers 2.
I know you and I were talking about it after we had seen it, and you were saying you weren't a big fan of the whole Ultron is Tony Stark's ego thing. I was okay with that, just because it makes sense where, Tony Stark created Ultron instead of, Hank Pym. I wasn't a fan that they didn't use adamantium.
They didn't.
And they, just as an excuse to tie, Black Panther into all this, they didn't bother. That pisses me off. I also don't know how I feel about Vision.
No? I thought he was probably... I really liked him. More than I thought I would like him.
I just don't know how I feel about that whole, the whole hammer thing.
Oh, the hammer.
Yeah.
What about Trevor, Willow?
Oh, so much to talk about that movie.
I like Willow shaking her head in the back.
The movie is just full of could-have-beens, but it's not the movie that I ultimately wanted it to be. I didn't mind watching it. I would watch it again someday. A lot of, like, the Ultron issue. I'm not a fan that he's basically a wisecracking smart guy, basically taking Loki's place from Avengers 1. And Willow actually, I wasn't, when I watched the movie, I didn't know why I didn't like it so much, but Willow explained it quite well.
What did I say?
You basically said with Loki, he can emote because it's Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah. The whole thing that doesn't work with Ultron is like he's like this emasculated weakling supervillain. He's like destroying everything and cracking jokes and being a smartass, but like you can only get so much of that across with a face that stays locked in the same position constantly and through a voice. Like with Hiddleston, he could convey a lot of what the character was supposed to be. Ultron is just a machine. I mean, I can't get into a character if they're gonna be one note and the same all the way through the entire movie. I think James Spader tries as hard as he can, but the script and the characterization, the look of him, does him no favors whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Like I said after I saw it, I think I get what they tried to do, and I understand Tony Stark made him, so he's got like that Tony Stark swag, or he's supposed to, but I just don't. I kept saying the whole movie, he's not menacing. Like he's not the Ultron I read. Like Ultron is like one of the most cold-hearted villains because he is a robot and he's calculated and he knows exactly what to do in what situations, and he doesn't have emotion, and that's what makes him a scary person, or a scary robot, I guess, is that coldness and the roboticness of him. And I think you take that away when he has a very human personality, and you can tell he's conveying emotion. Like they're trying to show that he feels this way about certain things. And of course, the whole time I'm thinking, well, he shouldn't feel anything. Like he knows he's a robot. He just is. He doesn't have those emotions. And like I just said, I just don't think he was menacing. I never felt in the movie the urgency of. I wasn't like, oh no, Ultron could actually win. The whole time I'm just like, Ultron seems like an idiot, and they're obviously going to beat him.
That's a fundamental flaw with these movies, though. Like, there's no stakes because they're constantly building to the next one. Nothing is going to change. They can't upset the status quo because it might affect their cash flow. like they're not gonna have an instance where like a villain is defeated, like a villain like defeats like the heroes, or anyone significantly even dies, because like they can't upset the status quo that much. And at a point, they've got to have someone really, really like shake the system up, because Marvel's really stagnant right now. They need something new. Like if Thanos doesn't like split the Earth in half, like Avengers 3 will be disappointing.
He's got to kill someone big too.
He's got to rip off Tony Stark's head and like roll it down the steps.
I hope he bowls with it personally. Intergalactic bowling.
That's right.
Like, this whole movie franchise has like 8-9 years of hype all about Thanos, leading up to Thanos, ever since the last scene in Avengers 1. It's just an unfathomable amount of anticipation surrounding this character. If he's not the most fantastic, menacing villain of all time, it's going to be a letdown now.
You guys know how they have that time play thing at the theaters prior to the movie? And that they ask you questions like, who's the most menacing Marvel villain? You're all looking at me like you have no idea what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
They asked that question in the theater, who's the most menacing of these four? I forget who the last one was, but it was Ultron, Thanos, Loki, and somebody else, and everybody voted Ultron, Loki, the other villain than Thanos. Nobody thinks Thanos is going to be worth shit at this point.
Well, I think they really have to make it him worth something, especially where they're giving him 2 movies worth of being a villain.
Well, really more than that, because he had Guardians too, where he had a very big role.
Well, yeah, and I think he'll play a bigger part in 2 as well.
Yeah.
I agree. They've got to do something. Hopefully, these next set of Avengers movies will give it to us, especially where we have seen, like, Chris Evans already said that he kind of wants to wrap it up. Like, so they have perfect opportunities to kill off characters of the actor. I mean, as comic book fans, it doesn't seem like these movies have been going on that long and we love them or whatever. But they, like Trevor said, like, we're talking about like 9 years of this universe being built.
They've got another huge problem too. Like, they've built Thanos up so much that he's unstoppable. No one can defeat him. If he doesn't win, then like it's not going to make any sense. We know what all the other Avengers can do in the movies. They've built Thanos up so much that like I don't think they've built the other heroes up enough to the point where they can believably beat him. It makes no sense for that to happen.
Exactly. And what I think's interesting is, I mean, I guess we'll see in the next couple end scenes in the movies, is I'm surprised they haven't already tried to, other than the teaser and Guardians, bring in Adam Warlock. Just because I would assume at some point, if we're talking about defeating Thanos, that's who we're going to be bringing in. He's really one of the only characters that has like successfully defeated him. But
they don't really have Galactus to use, do they?
No.
As much as I enjoy Joss Whedon's involvement in the franchise, in one sense I like that Joss Whedon won't be handling Thanos, because Whedon has a long-standing tradition of emasculating men and villains and mocking the concept of masculinity, not taking males seriously.
He has no interest in villains.
He made Loki and Ultron into jokes. With Loki, it was a success. With Ultron, it was less so.
Joss Whedon shouldn't have been directing Avengers: Age of Ultron, because he essentially like made the first movie over. Like, he was perfect for the first movie. That movie, in a nutshell, is everything that Avengers probably should have been. But then, like, Avengers 2, like, you could see where he was struggling to, like, get across his ideas while working within Marvel's system. Like, he wanted to do specific things, but couldn't because they're heading towards such a specific narrative path that, like, they should have brought in somebody different for that movie, because I think that Whedon's sensibilities and what they wanted to do with Ultron versus like the end results really clashed with one another.
Joss Whedon pretty much admitted through the film itself that he has no interest in Ultron, and it shows, and it damages the film some.
How could you not be interested in such a badass villain? This is a friggin' villain that took on the entire Marvel universe at one point, and almost won.
It's true.
Whedon doesn't seem to have as much investment in villains. I mean, his most famous villain is Spike from Buffy, and he became a good guy so fast. Like, he's not as interested in villains as he is heroes.
Yeah, I agree with.
He likes redeeming the unredeemable.
And as much as you'll probably disagree with me, Trevor, is I would have much preferred to see what are they, the Russo brothers on this than I would have Joss Whedon.
It's
Simply
funny,
because
I'm actually
go ahead.
disappointed that Loki hasn't had any continued involvement in Avengers, because I was actually really hoping that I would love to see a Loki actually join the Avengers team and become a good guy.
He was supposed to have a part in Age of Ultron, and they cut it like last minute.
They did, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with all that. Like I said, I think the Russo brothers would have been good on it simply because of the serious tone of Winter Soldier, and I know when reading Ultron, like Ultron has to be a serious character. It has to be a serious tone book. Ultron doesn't work in comedy books. I've seen them try it, and it just doesn't work. Ultron's story has to be ultra serious. No pun intended there. But yeah, no, like you said, I'd see it again, like, you know, and I'm sure I'll probably own it just because it's Ultron, but I think the first Avengers movie was definitely a better overall movie. Was there anything else you guys? Yeah.
Well, but there's so many little sections in this movie you can just easily dissect one by one. Like Will brought up Vision. I thought Vision himself was totally okay in the movie, but I hated the way that Vision was brought into the movie. I thought his actual birth sequence was really confusing and not explained well at all.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
The movie just pretty much showed us, hey, we have Vision now, accept that. And then it just continued on.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I did find, and like another part I really liked about it was like I really enjoyed the stuff with Bruce Banner and Black Widow and Natasha. Like I thought that. Yeah.
I think my character highlights would be like Bruce and Natasha and Scarlet Witch as well. I think they had probably the finest character moments.
Yeah.
I was surprised how much they actually gave Scarlet Witch in this film. Like, she has a lot of scenes.
Yeah. And it looks like I'm interested to see what role she's going to play further on in the universe, just because I feel like Marvel was really gung-ho on getting her into this universe.
It's funny, too, because we've seen the Cap 3 cast announcements. How funny is it that Cap 3 is basically going to be like Avengers 2.5?
Yeah, the cast is ridiculous.
Well, like I said, they're getting to that point where they got to have like $1 billion budget just to pay for actors.
Yeah. I do want to mention about Cap 3. Did any of you guys see the leaked picture of Crossbones?
I saw it, yeah.
I have.
I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited about that, and I'm very interested to see how they're going to handle him in a Captain movie, seeing how he is the villain that kills Captain America. So I think that'll be interesting to see how they handle him and if we'll get another dud like Ultron or if he's actually going to be as tough as everyone makes him out to be in the comics.
Yeah, he's pretty badass.
Yeah, no, he looks pretty good.
Probably gonna get his ass kicked though. They're gonna keep Cap alive at least until Infinity Wars. They might kill him off probably at the beginning of Infinity Wars, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
If they're smart,
Well,
they
yeah. If they were smart, but we know they won't.
Yeah.
Was you want to add about that or?
I don't know. It was a decent movie. Both Willow and I wrote in depth about it individually, and you can see the blog posts that we both made. Well, you didn't make a blog post. You made a letterbox.
Letterbox.
Yeah. We linked to them on the Geek Speak Facebook page.
Yes, check that out. Well, and maybe before we wrap up, we should also tell people to make sure to like check out Trevor's blog. The links are in Geek Speak. Will has his YouTube. I have my YouTube. Twitter, Geek Speak Canada. Go follow it. Facebook, if you're not liking us on Facebook, go like us on Facebook. We're always posting about stuff. Come interact with us.
We are friends. We don't have any.
You can come to my house. I'll let you in.
He likes pizza, so that would work.
That's
Show
right.
up with the pizza and I'll let you in.
So I think that's all we have to discuss for this one. We will be back in 2 weeks. We should be on a regular schedule again.
I hope so. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'm hoping.
So I will say toodle-doo. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye. See you next
Goodbye.
time.
Before we go, are we going to be doing words? Are we going to be doing a contest announcement anytime in the near future, or?
Yes, I'll announce it on the Geek Speak, on Facebook and Twitter.
Maybe some people now they've got some enticement to like us on Facebook.
That's right. That's right. Like us. We just want to be liked.
We'll give you free shit.
But yes,
right.
Thank you for watching, and we will be back in 2 weeks. See you
ya.
later.
Toodaloo.